Hi, joining us all the way from Kamloops is Chris Foulds, the editor of Kamloops This Week newspaper. He's going to talk to us about the race that's shaping up there. It sounds pretty exciting. Chris, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Good, thank you.
So let's just start by tell us about some of the issues that are at the forefront of this election.
Up here in Kamloops, the main issue, which is interesting because it's a main issue that City Council has no power on whatsoever. It's the proposed Ajax copper and gold mine south of the city. It's been an issue for a number of years. There's a vocal opposition to it. There's also a vocal support for it. But under the Mineral Tenure Act, the City Council has no say. They're not consulted. They have no vote. They have no power to do anything about it. It's proposed for south of the city, but many opponents of the mine are wanting candidates to state their position on it, if only for symbolic reason.
So are the candidates coming out and taking positions?
Yes, there's the two incumbents, Donovan Cavers and Tina Lang, are on record as they're opposing it. The remainder of the incumbents have all said that they want to wait until the environmental assessment, studies are done so they can make an educated an opinion on it. And a number of there's 28 people running for council, and of the challengers, there's a split. There's a slate of 5 called Vision Kamloops, and they're all against it. There's a few others against it, and the remainder, I think, are in the same camp as the rest of the incumbents. So they want to wait and see.
Right. So, but as you're saying, they don't really have any authority to do anything if it does go through. So it's just more posturing than anything.
Yeah, I think the voters who are interested want them to have a symbolic moral stance on it, so they know who they're voting for, so that when the council is formed, perhaps if they don't have any legislative authority, they can have a voice to government to say we don't want this, and maybe they're hoping to influence them softly.
Right. And Peter Millibar is up again for mayor. This is his 3rd term, is that correct? Or he's going for his 3rd term?
Seeking a 3rd term. He's facing 3 challengers: Pierre Filicetti, Ben James, and Dallas Paisley. It's considered that Peter Millibar is a prohibitive favorite to win, although last time he was a favorite to win, and a challenger named Dieter Duty, who's running for council this year, last time he came within 326 votes of beating Peter Millibar. That was quite shockingly close. But this year it appears as though Millibar is probably the favorite. As 3 candidates are running, they're well intentioned, but I don't think they have the power behind them.
Right. So aside from Ajax, what else? The Ajax mine. What else are people talking about up there?
Well, a big issue is the Slate. I mean, we don't have Slate politics up here like you do in the Lower Mainland. We don't have Cope Vision and MPA or the nasty debates and lawsuits between Lapointe and Robertson, and the leaking of extramarital affairs or alleged affairs and all that. But we have a slate this year that is 5 people called Vision Kamloops. Those are the aforementioned people I referred to, and they're more about against the mine. They're more about sustainability. And it's the first time we've had a slate since 1988, when Flying Phil Gilardi had 5 of his 6 candidates in the Action 88 team elected.
And just sorry to interrupt, but for the kids who don't know who Flying Phil is, can you give us a quick history lesson? He was the Socred cabinet minister.
Yeah, he was a cabinet minister who claimed that he paved most of British Columbia. Plus, he rode on airplanes on the taxpayers' dime everywhere, and got many speeding tickets driving the highways that he ordered paved. His grandson is Tom Gilardi, owner of the Dallas Stars and the Kamloops Blazers, and head of Northland Properties that has Denny's, Sandman Hotels, Moxie, Shark Club, all that kind of stuff. Phil Gilardi is a legend in BC politics, and they should know who he is, because he's as important as anyone politically in this province.
Kids are too busy on Twitter and Facebook these days. I guess that's why. But that's also one of the issues that seems to be coming up for this election. One of your columnists wrote quite an interesting column about that. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, Twitter is it's kind of an interesting thing. Everyone's on Twitter, talks about Twitter, but the majority of people are not on Twitter. So we have to take it at face value. It's almost like we're talking to ourselves on Twitter a lot. But nevertheless, the campaign has been interesting in that we have a hashtag up here, campaign with a K, 2014, that everyone follows. And there's been a lot of debates and back and forths and sarcastic asides between the candidates on Twitter with respect to many, many issues. It's kind of funny to watch.
Do you think that's watering down the debate and the public discourse, or is it more promoting, active democracy?
No, I think it's the latter. I think that we have a number of forums up here. The big media forum is on the 13th. I just moderated a school trustee forum last night. There was another city council debate last night. There's been an incredible number of smaller forums throughout the campaign. Our newspaper and the TV station and the radio stations have covered this to death. So there's no dearth of information. And I think the social media, the Facebook and the Twitter, is almost like a dessert. It's almost like sort of like the amusing anecdote to all this.
So you're saying it's pretty much a lock on Peter Millibar?
No, I'm not saying it's a lock, because we all said it was a lock that Adrian Dix would be premier last year. I'm saying that if I was a betting man, I would bet on Millibar, but I wouldn't be surprised at anything after last year's provincial election.
Sure. Well, let's leave it at that, Chris. Thanks for joining us, and hope to chat with you soon.
Thank you.